this just in, we don't even need DLCs. At least that's almost what it feels like. Now, it's a joke. It's a joke. Don't bring your pitchforks. Don't grab your swords. But huge shout out to everybody because we had some amazing Lorcana to watch this weekend. We had Wonderland that was casting the Lore League. We had 20 Lore that was putting on an amazing production of world-class cards up at their double 5K. There was the Red Saber Games event. There was so much Lorcana for so many big prizes this weekend, and it was awesome. Like, no, we're no longer in the times where we're just like, I want a DLC so I have something to watch. Now, yes, we still want DLCs. We still want the chance to win a golden Mickey, to watch that high level day 2 gameplay, but huge shout out that we got to watch so much. So what is today's video? Today's video is looking at specifically the top 8 deck lists of day 2. We're going to talk about day 1, but we're going to mostly talk about day 2. But going into it, the reason I'm going to really focus on day 2 is because this is the day 1 top 8, okay? We had 3 BlueSteel, 4 red-blue, and 1 green-yellow. And we're going to talk specifically about that green-yellow quite a bit in this video and another video coming up. But this was day 1. And then day 2, though, was a little bit more exciting. If you look at the top left, zero BlueSteel making top 8 at the 5K that World Class Cards put on with 20 Lore running the production of it. So awesome, okay? Really cool to see. We had 3 red BlueSteel, which is really unfortunate. It just goes to show still, the best deck in the format, in my opinion. We had 1 amber steel. We had 1 purple steel, 1 red purple, the deck that never dies, 1 red purple, 1 green yellow, which was the same green yellow from day 1, and 1 green purple, making it to top. Well, these are top 8 lists. So we're going to talk about the top 8 lists and top 8 lists from day 2. We're also going to talk about the deck that won on day 1. So just going to talk about a few lists, talk about some of the things on how the meta is being shaped. And it's being shaped in an interesting way. But let's get to the list. If you guys want to stick around for that, we'll talk about that at the end. Let's get to the list. So first up, we do have Jim Miller taking top 4 with his version of Purple Steel. Now, I jumped right to top 4 because on day 2, they all split. They said, I'm ready to go home. It's been 2 long days of Lorcana. Let's call it quits and take our winnings. So Jim Miller taking top 4, taking that split with a very different Purple Steel list. In Steel Song, I'm still a huge fan of Robin Hood Shift because it's so good into BlueSteel. You can't always get it down, but if you do get Robin Hood down, it's really hard for BlueSteel to win at that point. Almost impossible because Robin Hood just hits into all that stuff and then it gains you the 2 lore. Meanwhile, it's drawing you cards if they have to challenge into it. It feels really good. So this Purple Steel list, though, when you look at it, 4s of everything. He's running that consistency route. I don't need any 1-ofs or 2-ofs. I want to see the cards that I want to see. Looking at burn, we're on 4 goats, 4 roses, and 4 cobras. So lots of burn going on here. Lots and lots of it really helping against that red-blue, helping you go really fast against BlueSteel. The Calhouns also, again, really good for BlueSteel, really good for Amber Steel, which is still around, still kicking. And then, of course, Genies, again, really good into BlueSteel. So this Purple Steel list, it's just different than what we normally see. A lot of the Purple Steel, we're definitely not seeing this Robin Hood Shift line that we see here. We're not seeing the Jafars that we see down here, the one that's giving you +2 Challenger and questing for 2. So he's opting to just replace the crabs for that Jafar because it quests for 2. And when you look at this list, he's got Calhoun that banishes for 2, the Mr. Smee 2, Cobra gaining you 2, so Rose generally gaining you at least 2, Jafar 2, Genie 2, Goat 3 sometimes, minimum 2, Robin Hood 2. So a lot of this deck is just gaining you a bunch of lore on top of running these 8 different songs. And the deck well, it did really good, right? It beat through the blue steel, it beat through the red blue. It had an amber steel match, I believe, in top 16 that it was able to get through that. So, really good showing and really excited to see. I think purple steel is a major competitor in this set's current meta. It just has what it needs to do well. Burn, you when purple steel gets to 15, you start getting a little bit scared because of what could happen. Bouncing docks and, well, no bouncing in this list. No bouncing in this list. There's no fox, there's no snake, but dock and rabbit. So lots of draw to get to those burn cards, to get to the genie that's hard to answer. Really, really like it, man. Next up, we do have Daryl Lim running the green purple that we've recently seen really come out to play. This list just going really hard to get that Diablo down. You can mill, or you can alter pretty heavy if you want to find the Diablo, knowing you'll probably find a baby Diablo. Ursula is just helping to answer those early answers against Diablo. And then, of course, you have some great trade power with Fox and the Crab. Also, if you go Crab plus Diablo, this green purple one, that takes out a Flaversham. Remember this Diablo getting +2 challenger, so becoming a 3/2. You throw a Crab on there, and then now they lose their Flaversham and on their turn 4 after they quest with it, right? So meanwhile, if they're questing with it, you're probably drawing with Diablo. So it works out really well. That Prince John just coming in for the little bit of discard you do have. If you manage to get a Prince John down and then you sing Sudden Chill with Diablo, and then maybe you play a Lucifer a couple turns later, that's a lot of draw power. Now, one thing, this deck, it does really good or really well into blue steel, and the ability to just have these evasives down to quest, it does really well. And then this discard is being really bothersome. But then you throw in the Lucifers, helps you against red blue. The queen coming in here saying you have to worry about this card. If you ignore the queen, I'm going to gain a minimum of 3 lore and you're going to have a bad day. And it reminds me of Flynn Rider, just a little bit more difficult to handle, because if you ignored Flynn Rider, that was a good way to lose to red purple. Whereas Queen, if you ignore Queen, that's a great way to lose to green purple. So the list just has a lot of stuff. Bruno helping you answer against the Tamatoas or other cards that are just difficult to answer with, and also feeding the Prince John. Improvise, letting you do some wacky trades, or just being another great action you don't mind discarding for Diablo. Also drawing a card. The list is just fun. I played it today, played me some green purple, and the list is actually pretty wacky on what it can do. It has some really sexy lines. The things, you get that Diablo down, they blow it up. You're like, fine, here's another Diablo. And it's fun. That's really it. It's just a fun deck that can do some really cool things. So definitely give this one a try. Next up, we do have Derek Toso taking top 4 with a red-blue. We do have 2 red-blue in the top 4, taking that split. But looking at this list, we're seeing the coils, right? We're recognizing that these coils are just so good. The coil package is just so good. A lot of the times, like, once they get coils down, it's kind of just game over. We saw that happen in the live stream against the one Steel Song player that made top 8. Once they got a coil down, that was kind of just it, because they can take out anything and everything. And it's so easy for them to ink more than once to lower things by 2 for each ink. So if they ink twice, they're lowering something by 4, and then they can take it out with Baby Caesar. They can take it out with Brawl. They can take it out with Lady Medusa, which they run 2 of. Now this list, interestingly enough, only running the 2 Baby Caesar. So this is going to have a little bit harder time against aggro. I'd be curious how many, green yellows did Derek Toso play, which is really worried about seeing that Sisu shift line coming through, because they can't do anything to stop it. So that's something, right? And I wonder how many green yellows or how many aggro decks that Derek actually played. But we're on the 2 baby Sisus, which is helping with the uninkable count. Uninkables were on 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, only 12 uninkables in this list. We're on 2 Great Stone Dragons, no Fishbone Quill. So he's opting to say that I don't need him. Great Stone Dragon's going to do enough for me in the mirror where I really want that card. But the deck going to ramp relatively slow as well, and not being able to shift that baby Sizu, it really makes me wonder again and ask the question, how many aggro decks did you actually play throughout the day? And if you were on day 1, how many on that day? But the deck, it's going to do well into the mirror. It does have the 2 Maleficent Dragons. It still has the baby Tammys being able to get down the lucky dime. But what this list is trying to do, it's just trying to get those coils down, and then it's trying to control everything you play. Maleficent Dragon doing it, Baby Sizu and Big Sizu doing it, and the Medusa and Maui's helping do that as well. And then Cusco just answering opponents' lucky dimes, answering workshops, but most importantly, answering the red blue mirror and being able to answer the lucky dime or the manor, the McDuck Manor. That's the 1/9 questing for gaining 2 lore every turn. So the list, it's just doing really well into the mirror. It has the 1 Pirate's Life that you'll be able to use 1 time, which sometimes that's all you need. That 1 extra turn sometimes is all you need to make it, and then you can hold them off at 17 lore. Let's say they got to 19 or whatever it may be, right? That Pirate's Life being the one thing you need to be able to get down the B prep, to be able to get down the baby Sizu. I will say though that this is a list I would be very happy to run into. But moving on, we do have Alex Johnson taking the other top 4 spot. Alex Johnson on a similar list, right? And most red-blue lists at this point are very similar. We're seeing how the red-blue burn, that DKP variant, is kind of getting pushed down. It's really good into red-blue like the other red-blue, but not so much anymore. It was doing really well, but now they're all running Cuscos. And one of the strongest things that DKP variant can do is rush down the manor and then protect the manor against red blue, because it takes them a little bit of time to get going to answer those manors. Well, now, if they know they're going into it, they just dig for that Cusco, they answer the manor, and then they can just control everything you do. And then it's just kind of game over. This list opting to run 3 and 3, 4 Sapphire Coils, 2 Vitalospheres. So not only are we running Cusco, but Vitalosphere plus Maui is dealing 8. So if you have a Tipo down, that Maui and the Tipo are going to clear it. If you have Vitalosphere, that +2 just coming in, helping do a lot. Maleficent can now answer the McDuck Manors as well. So that that just helps a lot. So again, just a red-blue list that's doing really well into the other red-blue variant, being the burn version, but also doing well into BlueSteel if they needed to. Again, no BlueSteel in top 8, no BlueSteel in top 8 for day 2. So something beat them up. Someone learned something. A bunch of people learned something and said, no, sir. And maybe it was the red-blue list that figured it out, and they're just not too worried about it anymore. They know what to do, what lines to take, and smooth sailing to best deck in format again. Next up, though, we do have a top 8 list, and this is going to be our 1 red-purple. Red-purple showing us it is never truly dead. It is always around. It is always going to be a pain in the butt, but it is different than it has been. But this list, though, a lot of the same. We've seen a lot of red-purple that are trying a lot of different things, right? We're seeing the Queen of Hearts, we're seeing fairy ships, and we're seeing 12 locations and all this different stuff. We saw Ed talk about how we need to remove the bounce package and go a different route. Well, Ivan going a lot of the same route as before. A lot of the cantrips, right? We're on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cantrips. We're still on at least the foxes, because the foxes they trade really well. The bounce on goat or rabbit is still really, really good. We're on the Cuscos, so Cusco is coming back. Cusco, again, just a really great card into BlueSteel when they're trying to blow everything up. And if they don't blow up Cusco, then you go crab on Cusco to draw and remove their character. So that feels really good. The Sizu's when your opponent has a lot of cards, that 4 butt on Sizu is really nice. She quests for 2, but when your opponent draws so much, she's gonna have a lot of attack, at least 3, being able to clear out your opponent's bells or Scrooges, things like that, if they have at least 3 cards in hand. So Sizu feeling really good as well. Only 2 genies, on the 3-2 split. For Uninkables, we're currently sitting at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Uninkables. So Uninkables not super high, but not low either. Kind of that mid place. I don't think that's actually the Uninkables are pretty high on here, but if you can make it to your 4 drop, if you can make it to 4, you're able to sing Be King Undisputed. You buy yourself some time. You can sing Friends on the Other Side. Again, 5 of your 4 drops are also drawing you a card. Genie at least replacing himself. Rabbit drawing you 2 cards. So as long as you alter a little bit more safely, you're going to be a-okay when 5 of your Uninkables are drawing cards, and then 2 of them are a song that you're singing with the Uninkables. So it doesn't feel super bad, and it worked out really well for him. He did, again, make it to top 8. So kudos to you, man. Congratulations. Next up on our list, we do have Jack Morales, otherwise known as SSG Ghosting, representing Southside Games, taking top 8 twice with what may be the same exact list. I should have double checked. Let me know if I'm wrong, but his list just coming in here and throwing in some things to really help with the red blue. Like Churn of Dogs, right? Churn of Dogs does really well against BlueSteel. They can go so wide, so fast, and because so many of the characters have 4 health, like they can alter for those cards, knowing BlueSteel cannot remove them, and then they get into the Tramps and then the Chernobogs, and then it's just game over. But what Jack has done is he's decided to throw in some cards that are going to really help against the red blue variants. Curse Merfolk being able to quest for 2. If they challenge into it with a Tipo, then they have to discard a card, which makes things difficult. But if they use a Brawl or something on it, we're not upset about that either, because that means they use that turn to play Brawl and probably nothing else. And then Go-Go Tamago coming in, and also if you're getting up to those high lores and then you have a character down, you play a Cricky. Cricky then gives your Little John 3. Like, there's options now. And so Go-Go just giving you that little bit of reach that the deck is missing. And then you do have Cloud Kicker to bounce Flavershams, to bounce Baby Sizus, things like that. So a lot of options to help that red blue. And I know when he made top 16, he had a red blue, and he did beat them to make it into top 8 before losing to the green purple list, which I'd be interested to hear how that matchup went. But so really good job. Chernadog, really, I think this is a deck we're going to see a lot of. I think we're going to see a lot more of this, a lot more of the purple green or green purple. And I think we're going to start seeing a lot more purple steel as well. So we saw in this top 8 all 3 of those decks, because they all 3 do really well into BlueSteel and reasonably well into red blue. Purple steel probably doing the best into red blue of the 3, but I just think they're decks that have what it takes to go toe to toe with what are the best decks in the set currently. And we'll see how long that lasts when we have these decks coming up. The Donald Duck just giving you even more questing power. Just a fun deck. Next up, though, we do have Mitchell Forker taking top 8 with Steel Song. Really good job, man, and running some spicy things, running the no shift variant. But it's not the no shift that we're used to. Watching Zach Bivens, watching Wochuk. This one a little bit different. He's still on the Neverlands, only 3. He is on the Find My Platinum, which, again, not a fan of it. I don't think we should be running it in Steel Song. I'd be curious, how many times did you actually use it where it actually did anything for you? Or did you draw it, you had it, and you're like, I might as well, I'll remove a popsicle. And was it kind of just whatever? Now, part of your world though, is something that personally I have never seen. I wasn't playing in these early sets. I started at the middle of set 4. I've never seen part of your world played. I didn't even know what the card did, but it's an action, it's a song, it's a 3 cost uninkable. Return a character card from your discard to your hand, which is really interesting because there's a lot of good options for you to do here. You can go ahead and return a Rapunzel. You can return a Pete and play a Pete. You can return a Smee. Maybe you just need a character that won't get banished by Brawl or a baby Sizu, and that's what you need. Or you sing part of your world, you bring back a Naveen because you have a whole new world in hand. And then next turn, you can sing a whole new world with Naveen, and there's nothing your opponent can do about it unless they're a discard deck. So part of your world just opening up other lines, opening up other options that may have been closed before. And I think it's really interesting. 4 Uninkables in this deck. We're only sitting on 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, sitting on 18 Uninkables. So this is getting into that flute range. Like flutes, we sat around 18 Uninkables during that time, 18, 19. So we're getting to that area. But again, a lot of these are songs, and we can use them relatively easily when you run 4 troubadours, 4 Cindy's. We're running the 6 singer 5s. So we can get rid of these songs relatively easily. So they're not true Uninkables in that sense. So a really unique list, ultimately losing to Red Blue in top 8. But he did have his fair share of Red Blues throughout the day. I believe he played against a total of 4 throughout, 2 in Swiss and then 2 in top 16. So a good showing. We'll see what changes he makes. Again, I'm not a big fan of finding my Platinum. Cindy, I don't know if it's something we need. I love the Aurora. I have another video that's going to be coming out in a couple days, and it's talking about where Steel Song is, and I spend quite a bit of time on Aurora because it's a big card right now, and I'm really on Aurora over Gaston for the simple matter that Gaston gets removed anyways. Red Blue can deal with Gaston very easily, so now you just run the Singer 5 that's better into BlueSteel, the other best deck in the format, and her heal ability, if you can utilize it, is actually pretty busted. It's pretty good. It's just difficult. It's difficult to utilize. So really good job, man. Really great showing. Excited to kind of hear what you have to say. Excited to hear about what changes, how many times you used Find Them, I flattened them, but really good showing and way to represent. So next up on our list, we do have Santiago Gonzalez taking top 8 with his version of Red Blue, and his version of Red Blue is a little bit different. The big difference being that we are on 2 hideaways versus 2 Cuscos. So just an easier, cheaper option to be able to do it. Cusco, when you don't run that one, it's harder to use because it costs more. But his secret ability comes into play more often than some might think. I saw a game today at locals where he didn't have anything to do on his turn, but he had a Cusco down, so he's like, hey, I'll tap 4 ink, give everything resist +3, and then turned everything sideways. And there was nothing the opponent could do about it except watch it happen. And so that doesn't feel good. So Cusco for Hideaway is a choice, but again, Hideaway just easier to use in the sense that it comes down earlier, but you can also combo it with things. So really nice. We're on the 1 Great Stone Dragon and then 2 Ice Blocks, 4 Coils. This list I would hate to play against as a Steel Song player. Coils, they have to see, right? There's only 4 in their deck. But now they have Coils and Ice Blocks, and that just feels bad. That just feels really bad. We're on the 4 Tamatoas and the 4 baby Tamatoas. So lots of different options to get those items back, lots of different options to quest for a lot. So a different list, but still very good. Made it to top 8, had a really, really good showing. I believe he had a red-blue mirror in top 8. So good showing, Santiago. And then next up, I believe, is Schuyler. So Sky, a lot of people know him as Sky has been. He played Pixelborn. He really showed off what BlueSteel could do way back in the day, and he's never left BlueSteel's side. Through thick and thin, this man has stuck it through, going from when BlueSteel was at the top, playing through all the times that BlueSteel was at the bottom, and then playing BlueSteel again at the top. So Sky, a true BlueSteel, just awesome OG player. And coming in here, he's been voicing from the very beginning of this set that Oswald wasn't the card. Chicha is still the card. And I say still because Sky was also really high on Chicha last set. And when a lot of people weren't, a lot of people said it was a bad card. Sky showed everyone how wrong they were. And then everyone started running her again in the no wheel list. So Sky again showing how good Chicha can be, going and taking first place. I believe this was his list. I took it from his Dreamborn, but Sky, really congratulations, man. A fellow Nebraskan, right? A fellow Cornhusker from Nebraska. We'll leave it at that. I won't share where he's from, but so really awesome to see. A big friend of Wonderlands. They do a lot of play testing. So if you ever wanted to watch the two of them play, make sure you check out Wonderland's stream where they used to do a lot of open hand practice, which you can learn a lot from. So definitely check that out. Sky just being an amazing player, an amazing BlueSteel player. So love to see it. We're on the Shield of Arendelle helping, baby Tamatoas live through Zeus's, helping your other characters live. The Jim Hawkins being a really important piece. One of the things about Jim Hawkins is you play that on 2, and then now this is really annoying for your opponents to deal with. If you're playing against green-yellow, Jim Hawkins really good into green-yellow. That Jim Hawkins just being able to do a lot. It answers Daisy, so they can't go super aggro. It just, the potential for a 4/4 it's a big deal. The Jim Hawkins can answer the Scrooge McDuck. The Jim Hawkins can answer a bell. It can do a lot, all right? You can go Jim Hawkins, double ink, fire the cannons, which then takes out an opponent's Flaversham. So really like Jim Hawkins. I've been a big fan of him for a long time. Not a necessity, but a good card all the same. And of course, the 2 fire the cannons, which is something you don't see a lot of right now. You see a lot of let the storm rage on, but fire the cannons comes into play. Can't Ursula fire the cannons, right? You 2-drop Ursula, takes songs, it does not take actions. So they play that Ursula, it doesn't matter. They still lose their Diablo the next turn. So fire the cannons being really good, it denies the shift lines. Just a good card. I'd imagine this deck we'll start seeing a little bit more of. Huge fan of this version of BlueSteel, this kind of mid-rangey control variant, mid-rangey item variant. We are on 1, 2, 6, 7, 11, 15 items. So with that, though, is you just have a lot of characters that are controlling the board. They're able to quest, and then you're working towards getting the Tamatoa with the big swing turns. Maybe you get the high roll where the baby Tamatoa quests. You play the Lucky Dime for free. You play the big Tamatoa the next turn. Just a lot of nasty things, right? That can happen really, really quickly with this deck. And personally, I think this is the deck to beat in this current set. I think this version, it doesn't necessarily have to have these exact cards, but I think that this mid-rangey control item variant is the deck to beat. So really good job taking first, man. You guys didn't split. You went all the way through and it worked out for you. So congratulations. So ladies and gentlemen, that is all the list. That is top 8 for day 2. And that is the first place winner of day 1, Sky. So really big shout out to Ghosty for making top 2 or top 8 twice on day 1 and day 2. But when you look at this day 2 breakdown, the meta is just, it's shaping into something. A lot of people talking about how red, blue, BlueSteel, being so much of the format. And on day 1, it was. Day 1, it was. So I don't think, day 1, look at this. That is for real. So when we look at day 2, I do not think that you can look at day 2 and be like, okay, blue steel is gone, right? Red blue is not as strong as it was. And no, I don't think you can do that. I think that is it's completely different ball game, right? This is one event where Blue Steel and Blue Red did not own all of Top Cut. One event, and you cannot take one event and say the meta is figured out, because I don't if I looked at all the other events that happened this weekend, I'm pretty sure we'd see that the majority of it is Blue Steel and Blue Red. But it's just really cool to see. Like, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer by any stretch of the imagination. It's just cool to see all these different colors. And it's not all steel either. We only have 2 steel decks making it into top 8. So there is stuff to figure out. We are only into what, week 4 of the set, maybe. There's a lot to figure out about what the future of this set looks like. How red purple, we've now seen 3 versions of red purple do really, really well. So it's still developing. A Robin Hood purple steel developing. Green purple coming out saying, I'm here to rock and roll. Churna dogs just they're winning by like turn 4, and it's wild, and they're all 0-4s, so you can't really answer them either, and that's scary. It's hard for Steel Song to deal with, hard for Red Blue to deal with if they don't get the right cards, almost impossible for Blue Steel to deal with. It's a scary deck, so definitely be on the watch for that one. But I like the meta. I think it's fun. That's all I have to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy the list. If you want to see any of them, make sure you check out the description down below. Okay, that would be all the lists that I've shown off today. Make sure, if you want to hear more Steel Song content, stick around. I have a pretty big video coming up. We're talking about all the testing that I've done with Steel Song and what some of my friends have done with Steel Song. What we figured out for this set. It is not dead. It is still just the best deck in the game. It is. It's the most fun. It's the coolest, and try it out. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I hope you enjoy the video. And remember, the most important thing, as always, remember, stay happy and healthy. I'll see you all around.